All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here for Backyard Bookies Week 17. Joined as always is my man Scott. Scott, 17 weeks down. It's been a long ride. It's been a fun ride. And now we got some big boy bowl games to pick this week.
Yeah, we're done with those games that no one really cares about, except for a few of them last week. But actually got some really good games this week.
Hopefully.
Tonight, actually 2 games tonight that we'll definitely be talking about, and then of course the national championship next Monday. But yeah, I'm excited to pick these games. I've done
You've done great.
Well so
I was
far.
good last week. I think I went. God, what did I do? Let's just run it down for you. Let's do what you did. You were really good last week. So we had multiple cancellations last week due to nonsense over here. But so you started off, you missed Ball State +5. You hit Nevada, Western Michigan on the over. Again, I think Western Michigan almost hit that over itself again.
I think it was at least 70 points, and
yeah,
the total was at least 70, so that was an easy one.
You got a knack for that. Houston +2.5, easy cover. Louisville let you down with Air Force. Mississippi State, Texas Tech hit the under, but man, Mississippi State they let down Mike Leach. They let us all down. I think
that was the exact opposite of what we were all thinking. We thought Mississippi State was going to come out and just train wreck the
Tech.
Red Raiders. But
yep.
No, it was complete opposite. The Red Raiders had that running game working for them. They just ran it down their throat. I think it was like 9 or 10 yards a carry, something crazy like that. But yeah, Mike Leach's boys didn't really come out and play well. I expected Will Rogers to come out and play well, like he sort of has done, but it's a bowl game. Maybe he didn't care as much.
A lot of COVID.
Doesn't really matter. So.
A lot of COVID going around. We had like 4 or 5 games canceled this week. Late minute stuff. UCLA, NC State was not played. I want to count that as a forfeit. It really should count as a forfeit, right? If you pull out 4 hours before a game, that's not a COVID dropout. That's a forfeit. You quit, but Chip Kelly's.
I'd agree with that, but you're not counting that on your record.
No, I'm not. I'm getting a half a credit. That should have paid out because that's absolutely garbage. I would have countered it if you had bet NC State. Also, we would have countered it for ourselves. Scumbag Chip Kelly. Minnesota covered over West Virginia. We had the fattest man score a touchdown at 6'9", 300 and whatever pounds. That was fun. Exactly what we thought we would see in that game.
That game was an absolute snoozer. I think I watched probably the first quarter, and I can't do it anymore. This is just going to be.
And one of those, it was
defensive.
Ugly.
Minnesota just 4 downs and a punt. That game won for me. That wasn't it. So at least I got the win there.
Yeah, Virginia Tech got housed by Maryland. We both missed that game. That was as bad as we could have got. Clemson, Iowa State. You hit the under on that one. Very interesting game. I'm not sure Dabo Swinney can coach with a generational quarterback because he managed 7 points on offense or 1 touchdown on offense. He had 2 field goals. Just bad, but they won that game. And
like I said, DJ played so well against Notre Dame last year in that fill-in game for Trevor Lawrence, and then I don't know what happened in between then and now. I think he has like 9 or 10 total touchdown passes this year, and I think he had 5 in that game alone.
I don't
know if it was a tape or something. They figured out how to plan. Maybe
it's Dabo.
I don't know.
The offense is bad. He's a motivator. He's not an X's and O's guy.
I'm not gonna put any. I'm not gonna put any blame on him specifically, but I don't know what's going on.
He's on my short leash. I'm putting him on my short leash. Also, Brett Purdy over there for Iowa State, the worst. That's a guy who has never gotten better since being a sophomore in college because he lost that game for me. I obviously had the over in that one, and he fumbled picking up the first down, and they were in range to tie that game up and send us to overtime and lock up that over. So good for you, bad for me. OU crushed.
Brock Purdy. He just it's just amazing. Like you said, sophomore year, feel like everyone's saying Brock Purdy. He's going to be some
top
NFL
quarterback,
prospect.
Yeah. Heisman.
He never turned into nothing. Never turned into anything. Never been big on him, but very interesting. Like you said, he hasn't really turned into much. So
yeah,
we'll see if he does anything in the league. I'm sure he won't. He'll be a backup if he even gets
drafted.
Yeah, even on a team. He probably won't be, but
exactly. Oklahoma and Bob Stoops crushed Oregon. Oregon made it a little bit close there towards the end, but they housed them. UNC South Carolina hit the over for you. The luckiest man in the world.
Barely.
With the garbage field goal at the end with 30 seconds left. They did. I like it. My prediction on here, I should get more points for that one too. They did dump Mayo on the winning coach.
Well, you heard also Bob Stoops, and this is just Bob Stoops talking about the Alamo Bowl, if he'd be willing to get a tequila bath.
Oh, I'm sure Bob
Like,
would.
yeah, he's like, yeah, absolutely. What are they gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah. Bob is a
True, very true.
Bob's a big Tequila Sunrise guy, I heard, so he was on it.
Really?
The Cheez-It Bowl, obviously, Dabo got a thing of Cheez-Its. I don't know, the mayo was kind of gross. Maybe I'll throw a video up of the Beamer getting dumped in the mayo, but love what South Carolina's doing there. Tennessee, Purdue, you only bet 1 point, but we kind of got housed on Tennessee right there. A wild game at the end there. 3 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes. Made it exciting, but really bad call in overtime, not giving Tennessee the touchdown to go up 7 for us. Michigan State, Pitt. Michigan State was behind all game, and we got a couple of late lucky ones there to cover. And then Wisconsin, Arizona State did not hit the over. There was only 7 points scored in the second half. So
It was just like that Minnesota game. I think I watched about minutes of it and
went to bed.
ahead and
Yep, it was a
shut
late
that
game,
down. Yeah,
not
it
worth
was
it.
Not one of those games I wanted to watch.
Especially after Tennessee, Purdue, and Michigan State, Pittsburgh, 2 good games back-to-back towards the night there. It was like, who cares about Wisconsin, Arizona State? So pretty good. You up to 25 points, plus 25 overall. So excellent 2 weeks for you over there. Let me just run down mine real quick. Hit Georgia State minus 5.5 for that one. Hit Houston plus 2.5. Miss Nevada plus 6.5. Let me down there. Air Force Louisville hit the over 55.5. Miss Mississippi State minus 10. Minnesota minus 4.5. I hit. Vatech plus 3.5. Missed that one. Clemson, Iowa State over 44. Missed that one tough. Had OU, Bob Stoops and the Sooners minus 4.5. South Carolina plus 9 with the largest upset in bowl games since 2016. Actually, had that one. That would have been a nice money line game right there. Tennessee, I missed minus 4.5. Had Sparty, our flip game, minus 2.5, and I miss Wisconsin with the hook at minus 6.5. Only won by 6. So I'm not great. Had a good week last week, but I'm still sitting at exactly where I was last week at minus 18. But we got a new slate of games, big games here. Let's start with the first one, the rescheduled, canceled bowl game, Wake Forest and Rutgers.
Yep. So unfortunately, our Aggies are not playing right now. This is being taped at 10 o'clock, right at the start of game time. I have no idea what's happening yet, but
we're just trendsetters.
Our Aggies.
We were the first ones to quit. Everybody else quit after us.
Exactly. But unfortunately, we don't get to watch Zach Calzada and the boys out there just
who
plugging away and grinding because he's such a good quarterback.
He doesn't play for our school anymore.
We wouldn't have had Spiller anyway.
He left.
Yeah, I know.
Zach Calzada left. It would have been Blake Bose.
Yeah, I guess it would have been Blake Bose. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, now they're playing Rutgers. Rutgers is a 5-win team. They're actually not a bad 5-win team. They
played good.
They played decently against some teams. They're playing Wake Forest. Look at the line here. It's about 1 minute into the game right now, but the line is 17. Wake Forest minus 7. That's a lot of points, I would say, for a bowl game. But I feel like Wake Forest will probably come out and score a bunch. I think the over/under is 62.5. I think Wake Forest can at least score 35, maybe up to 40. And Rutgers will probably sprinkle a little bit there because Wake Forest doesn't have a very good defense. I don't know if Wake Forest can cover that line. It's a pretty big line for a game that they probably don't have much motivation to even be in at 10 a.m. on a New Year's Eve. And I don't know, where are they playing this bowl?
They're in Jacksonville.
Oh, okay, well.
So good weather.
Hopefully. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. It's not 10 o'clock there. It's 11. It's 11 there, so it's not too bad. But regardless, I think Wake Forest will probably score a bunch of points. I think Rutgers will get at least 20. I think 62.5 is pretty fair. I don't think it's skewed either way. So I'm going to take the over 62.5, and I feel really good about it because I'm actually looking at it right now. Wake Forest is almost in the red zone.
Hey.
2 minutes in, so I was going to take 4. Regardless, we're going to stay at 4. So 62.5 over.
Big number. All right, that's good for me too. I'm going to take Wake Forest with the 16 points here. Rutgers wasn't practicing in the bowl season. They rushed to get through protocols. They had about a week or so to practice, not even. I'm only going to sprinkle a point on this one because it is a huge line. Not sure what Wake Forest's motivation is going to be. It's a shame because A&M Wake Forest would have been actually a very good game. 2 top-ranked teams there to kick off this New Year's Eve. So I am going to take Wake Forest. Like you said, their offense is very, very good. Defense, not so much. I just don't think Rutgers has the offensive firepower, like you said. Not the worst 5-7 team. Played in one of the best divisions in college football, probably second best division in college football. Playing Michigan, Ohio State, all those teams. So not a bad team, but they're kind of slowed down there towards the end. Just not sure what Wake Forest's motivation is going to be. I would want to house the team early, blow them out. Rutgers hasn't been practicing as much as Wake Forest, but you kind of, they've been prepping for the Aggies and they're changing. But kind of a similar offensive game plan from Rutgers as to what A&M is. Rutgers runs the ball, plays defense, or at least tries to, so they're a poor man's A&M. So I like Wake Forest here, but I'm only going to sprinkle a point on 16 because it is such a big line and don't really know what the motivation is here. All right, next game, Wazoo and Central Michigan. This was both teams had their other opponents drop out last minute last week, so they said, we'll just play each other. So actually not the greatest games we could have had. We would have had a Miami game. We would have had Boise State, Central Michigan. Yeah, I would have much rather see Wazoo, Miami, but still interesting game for those who want to check out Wazoo.
Yeah, like I said, not a great game. It's being played in El Paso, too. I'm
Go
not
Sun Bowl.
very envious of them going out to the Sun Bowl. But, so we got Wazoo, Central Michigan. Wazoo's minus 5.5. Over-under is 56.5, which is kind of interesting looking at some of these last scores they've had. Wazoo, they're kind of like the Mike Leach, Texas Tech. They're not like they used to be. They're not that high-scoring offense like they used to be with Luke Falk and the boys out there that could sling it around. They don't score that many points. Over-unders have been pretty low. They've all been in the 50s, but they've covered them the last three. They played Oregon, who they covered it barely right on the line, and then they put up some good points against Arizona and put up some good points against Washington. But I'm looking at Central Michigan. We have their over-unders have been kind of high, 60s, 70s. There was the Kent State game at 76, and they covered that. Like I said, this line is going to be 56.5. I think both teams can get 28 points. We're a little worried about Central Michigan, just playing a better opponent. But the last 5 games they haven't really played anybody, and they put up good points against them. But so if they play a decent Pac-12 team, they might shock up a little bit. I think they can still cover that 56.5. So we're gonna go ahead and take the over 56.5. Just 2 points. Just because I'm not a big Chippewa expert here. Nor am I really big on our Washington State Cougars. So we'll see what happens. But I like the over. They can both get up to 30 points. Maybe Wazoo can try and score 40 and make an easy cover.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, hey, didn't you go to, I think you went to a Wazoo, not you, Terrell went to a Wazoo game this year, so he gave me some good insight. It's the BYU Wazoo game he was actually at, the game that BYU kind of let us down. Wazoo got their head coach, and I think they had a great finish to the season. Jake Dickert really played himself into that job, the way they rallied that team around. They had a lot of turmoil there with their coaching situation, lost a lot of people due to mandates, but rallied the squad. They played great down the stretch. Beat Washington, won the Apple Cup for the first time in a long time. So really, really strong finish from them. Like you said, kind of an overwhelmed opponent here. But maybe preparation could be a problem here. You never know with these small schools. They can always, they're prepping for a game, but maybe they bring in a lot of bag of tricks or something. Wazoo's prepping to play Miami. 2 very different teams, 2 different things. Line is 7, so I am comfortable here with betting Wazoo. It's only a touchdown, so I'm going to ride them. They've been hot towards the end of the season. They love their head coach. They got their guy, kept the same guy, so no really change over here. Only going to put 2 points on this one, again, just because it was a last-minute change of opponents. That always kind of messes with things. For those that don't know, it's not so easy to prep for a game, college, NFL, like that in football. It's a lot of prep time. It's a lot of focus. You watch a ton of film, and when you got to change it quick, it's very, very difficult. But talent should win the day. Coaching should probably win the day here. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Wazoo. Strong finish this season. Good season. Like what I see from them moving forward. So, 2 points on Wazoo. Next game for us. Interesting game here.
Oh, wait. I'm actually seeing Wazoo minus 5.5 if you want the...
the cheaper line. I'll take the cheap. That dropped 2 points before the game. Wow. I got them last night at 7. I'll take that even more. I'm comfortable at a touchdown, though. So I will put down 5.5 right now for that, but I am comfortable at a touchdown for everybody to know that. I'm not going to put any more points on there. I feel like that'd be a little bit skeezy of me, and then I'd be pissy if it changes on me. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to skip our next two games here. Save the semifinal games for the last to tease that a little bit. So you got to be stuck with us. Penn State, Arkansas next game for us here. Good game. Big Ten SEC.
It is a good game, but it's a little. This one's a little tricky for me because the line opened at 4.5 Penn State, and then it's moved up to 2.5 plus 2.5. So it's moved almost 6.
It's moved a lot.
7
It's a lot.
points here. It's moved a bunch. I don't feel confident at all in this game. I think Penn State is one of those fluky teams that they come out and play one week, they come out and not play another week. I don't know I don't know how much they care about this game. They're a 7-5 team that hasn't really shown much, and they're playing a team like Arkansas who's probably going to grind them out with Jefferson and run the ball really well. But like I said, so Penn State's going to be plus 2.5. Over/unders 48.5. Feel good about this one. Really looking at the numbers, last 5 games, it's like it's all over the board. Especially Penn State is just literally all over the board. There's no trend whatsoever. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, and then against the spread, it's just there's nothing even to read into here except for the 4 unders that they've had before the Michigan State game. But I don't really know what to do. The confidence level here is going to be at a 1 here, but just because we've talked about this before, just because I have no idea what to pick here. I'm taking the points. I'll take Penn State plus 2.5. Probably not the best idea in the world. I have a decent feeling Arkansas can come and run it down their throats, but they're also a Big Ten defense, so who knows what's going to happen. But I don't know what's going to happen. I'll take the points. I don't like swallowing them when it's kind of a toss-up game. So we'll take the points and we'll
go from there.
We'll bet 1.
Okay, we'll bet 1. I am going the other direction. I am very confident what I'm going to see in this game. Oh, like you said, Penn State probably had a little bit higher aspirations, 7-5. Couldn't beat any of the big boy teams in the Big Ten there. Arkansas, on the other hand, was a program that won, 1 game 2 years ago? They've really turned things around with their new head coach. In 2 years. Very impressive season for Arkansas. Ranked 21 in the country. Beat A&M, who they have never beaten in the SEC. Had a couple other big wins there. One at Mississippi State. I love what I see from Arkansas. I was very tempted with the over-under here. It's a little low because Arkansas can score points if their running attack is potent. They've put up 40 in a game. No problem before. I think Arkansas is going to come out and play hard. This is a big bowl game. They're playing on New Year's Eve. They want this game. 2.5 points feels a lot. I'm not sure what Penn State's motivation is going to be. I know Arkansas is going to get up and play. I'm going to put 4 points on the Razorbacks here. SEC teams have not had a great bowl season, but in games where we're moving towards more the top of the conference playing, and they've been showing out a little bit better. I mean, the bottom of the conference lost to the top of the other conferences. I mean, I love that narrative. I know we kind of talked about that. The motivation's a little low for the SEC. We had, the ACC, the AAC, the new Big 12 teams coming in and playing SEC teams, and they're 2-0 against them. And I go, yeah, you played Florida and Mississippi State, 2 of the bottom teams in the conference, and you against Houston and UCF, your number 2 and number 3 teams. We still got Bama and Cincinnati, so we'll see where that one goes. But I love the Razorbacks in this game. Like I said, they always come to play. Even the games they lost down the stretch there, they just kind of went through that young team, facade. The SEC is a grind. I am a little nervous with 74% of the bets on Arkansas. The experts are all on Arkansas here. It's less than a field goal, so that is very, very comfortable. They don't score a ton of points, but the defense has been very good for Arkansas down the stretch here. Bama was their only really bad game that they gave up some points here, but they still scored 35 against Bama. Bama, obviously a great team. So I'm going to go with Arkansas here, 4 points at -2.5. Next game for us, interesting game. Don't know what I'm going to get from this. Notre Dame and Okie State.
Yeah, it's another one of those games. It's pretty much a coin flip. Really looking at the teams, but Looking back on the trends, we have Notre Dame has covered 5 in a row, and they've hit unders. I think 4 out of 5. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Yeah, 4 out of 5. The last they just didn't cover against. They put up too many points to get the under against Stanford. So you can just tell the defense is going to be rocking this game. Like we said before, Oklahoma State is probably the best defense, maybe besides Baylor in the Big 12. So they can stop some people. But really, the trend here is for me, it's going to be that Notre Dame defense. They've really come out and pretty much punished everybody. 14 against Stanford, zip against Georgia Tech, 3 against Virginia, 6 against Navy, who's a tricky team to play sometimes. And then they put up UNC. They're a pretty prolific offense, even with Sam Howell, who didn't really show out as much this year. But they put up some points against them. That's what happens sometimes. And that was the one over. So for me, I think Notre Dame can probably put up some points against Oklahoma State. I'm a little worried about Dundee and Spencer Sanders playing against the Notre Dame defense. So I'm going to take Notre Dame minus 2.5. I even maybe like the under in this. I think it might be like a 28 to 13 kind of game, 14. Pretty low scoring, good defense. This is the Fiesta Bowl. This isn't the Sun Bowl here. This is a decent bowl game. So they're definitely going to come out and want to play well. It's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna really enjoy watching this one. But I'll take Notre Dame. That's 2.5 and for 4 points.
I can't believe it. There's a rule in life: don't take Notre Dame on a New Year's Day bowl. It's the Fiesta Bowl, I believe, in Phoenix. So don't take Notre Dame in a big game. But Marcus Freeman's their head coach. They lost a lot of wind, but regain
one more big motivation. I got Marcus Freeman, helping them out instead of your boy Brian down in LSU, who's
now a Cajun. Now a Cajun, man.
Apparently now has an accent, yeah.
A team that got the wind sucked out of their sails, instantly put back in, kept their offensive coordinator, which was big. I think this galvanized the Notre Dame program, actually. They had a really good season for Notre Dame. Things didn't necessarily break their way at the end of the season. They just needed one more loss, and they would have been in the Final Four. Lost early at home to Cincinnati, who ran the table. Not a bad loss. I think this is actually one of the better Notre Dame teams we've seen in a long time. They didn't win these close games against bad teams. They housed everybody down the stretch. Like you said, winning games by 20, 25 points, which you never see. Marcus Freeman's young. He's energetic. People love him. He's actually got a Rivals profile. That's how young he is. So we're getting into the real young coaches these days. I'm going to go with Notre Dame as well at 2.5. I'm only going to bet 3 on this one because, God damn it, there is a streak of Notre Dame in a New Year's 6 bowl playoff game. Bad things happen, but I think they want to show out. I don't think Spencer Sanders has shown me anything offensively. They threw away the Big Ten championship game against Baylor. Baylor's defense is not that good. It's good. It's not that good to get shut out by them. Notre Dame's defense is much better, I think, than Baylor's defense here. Okie State it's a letdown season. Yeah, you got a New Year's 6 bowl, but Okie State was a win away from probably getting in over Cincinnati, I would say. They would put a Big 12 champ over a Cincinnati team. So a letdown of a season for them. I'm going to roll with the Irish. I know it's kind of a homer pick. I do enjoy the Irish. We have a streak of over 24 Irish starting quarterbacks we had to talk about on Monday when we were out. But yeah, I think this is a new Notre Dame team. Be watching them. Be excited, Notre Dame fans. This could actually be a team that schedules some teams maybe in the next few years and, maybe shocks some people, wins a playoff game. Who knows? Really refreshed team. You love to see it from Notre Dame. I always love to see it from them. Okie State doesn't move anything for me. Next game, Iowa and Kentucky. Kind of two teams that feel almost like the exact same team to me.
Yeah, so we got them in the Citrus Bowl. So this is going to be my quote-unquote lock of this week. Just like you said, Iowa has that running defense. They have the defense, and then they run the ball. Kentucky's the exact same team. Kentucky's -3, over-unders 44.5. And you pretty much, just with that little what you just had, that pretty much just nails that's exactly the same way I'm thinking. They're gonna both teams are gonna run the ball. They're gonna milk the clock. There's gonna be a bunch of 4th downs, a bunch of punts. I think this is going to be a classic Iowa game against a team that's going to be running the ball anyway. It's going to be a quick game first and foremost. There's not going to be much passing. So I think this is an easy one. The over/under is kind of low for me, but I mean, just in the game last night, the Wisconsin and Arizona State, I thought Arizona State could come out and score at least 21, and thought Wisconsin could do the same. But I think it's gonna be the exact same game. I think it might be like a 21-10 kind of game, maybe 28-13 or something. Nothing crazy. It's gonna be a good defensive game. So I'll take the under 44.5 for 5 points.
I actually love that pick. Yeah, Iowa doesn't score any points. We saw them against a decent defense and a team that runs the ball, Michigan, in the Big Ten championship game. Didn't go so well for them. Kentucky is not that. Another Kentucky team, new head coach from 2 years ago. Great, lot of energy in the program. They run the ball well. Had a very strong season, I think, for them in the SEC. Got a little overmatched by Georgia. Lost a tight one to Tennessee. Love what I see from them. This could be SEC bias all the way here, but Iowa had that dip there in the middle when they started playing better teams. They got ran out by Purdue. Got housed by Michigan State, I believe, but they kind of let down. This was a number 2 team ranked in the country, Iowa, so that is a little scary. Love the under in this game. Also love Kentucky in this game. I think Kentucky can actually punch the ball into the end zone. Iowa doesn't score any points, like you said. Now let's see point total. Not great, 32nd, but they also turn the ball over a ton. Kentucky's offense, on the other hand, rushing attack is fantastic, and they score points. 6th in the country in points scored, Kentucky. Wouldn't expect that out of a Kentucky team coming out of the SEC that runs the ball like crazy, like you said. They can throw the ball, Kentucky, which is a little different than most Kentucky teams in the past, but going to be a quick game. Again, 3 points here is more than comfortable for me, so I'm going to take the Wildcats. 2 points here on them to cover the 3 against Iowa, but should be a great game to watch tomorrow during the day. Citrus Bowl, man, who would have known? A little fake, they're just making up bowl games left and right at this point. All right, next game we have... Interesting game. It is the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Ohio State and Utah. Your Utes are playing here. Let me guess where you're going with this one.
So I've been told that there's nobody left in the Salt Lake Valley right now. They are all in Pasadena, California, watching the game. Exciting for the people in Utah. Actually, going to get a pretty good test here instead of the Oregon team that we all thought was good, and obviously.
Not so much.
Housed them twice, and then a Big 12 team decided to house them as well and put up 47 against them. So Oregon's not the team that we thought they were. So Utah is probably pretty pumped to get this kind of national recognition to play a Heisman candidate and a head coach that's maybe in the works for an NFL job here pretty soon. We'll see about that, but
hopefully not.
Yeah, so hopefully not, but. Might end up happening. He's a good coach, so old Ryan Day. But we have Ohio State is -4 now. It's been moving all over the place. I think it started at 6.5.
It was 8.
Went up to 8.
It opened.
I think it started at 8. It went to 7.5. I saw that. Went down to 5, then it went down to 4. It's going all over the place. Maybe it's because of COVID. Maybe I don't know.
Couple opt-outs for Ohio State. Their 2 best receivers opted out. Chris Olave not playing for the Buckeyes.
That would make sense, and I think Chris Olave is probably worth at least 1 or 2 points on a spread. So, it's a big opt out, really big, and especially with the Utah defense as well. They're gonna have one less weapon to worry about on defense. But Utah +4 over under is 64.5. I think you pretty much know where I'm going here. It's not a homer pick.
It's a homer pick.
I think. Not a homer pick. I think Ohio State. First thought was Ohio State's probably going to house them, but now that Olave's not playing, that gives me a little more confidence to probably say that our boy Cam Rising come out and play pretty well. They have good running game as well. Like I've said many times, I've picked them many times. I think I actually like the over in this game as well, 64.5. They'll both at least score 30 points, and then it could be a few more on top of that, but. I will take Utah +4. I'm not going to bet much on it because I do want to watch it and enjoy it, not worry about too many points, but I'm going to take 2 points. Utah +4. I don't think C.J. Stroud has seen a defense like this besides Michigan.
And he lost to
and
Michigan.
we all know how that went.
He lost to
So,
Michigan, so
Utah +4.
Homer pick. Ohio State, so you said the entire Utah Valley is at the Rose Bowl. Huge game for you. Utah hasn't been in a big bowl game in God knows how long. Jesus, feels like forever. Maybe Urban Meyer was still the head coach. Ohio State returned 7,000 of their 20,000 allotted tickets. So the Buckeye fans, they ain't going out to Pasadena. They ain't going out. Kind of a letdown season for the Buckeyes. They've been in the playoff. They expect national championship playoff games. So it's really pathetic to say the Rose Bowl is a letdown for a team. But again, you didn't win the Big Ten either. Love Utah in this game. Love them, love them, love them. Getting 4 points. No Chris Olave. Big opt-out. And it was late, too. A late opt-out. So they had been planning to have both their receivers. Both receivers opted out late for the Buckeyes. Ryan Day could have a foot out the door. Hopefully not. The word is Chicago Bears. Could you imagine this? Ryan Day ends up at the Chicago Bears, and Urban Meyer's the new head coach at Ohio State football again next year. We live in a circle pattern here. So I'm going to go with the Utes +4. I'm going to put 3 points on it. I know you want to enjoy the game. I'm okay with enjoying the game too. Rose Bowl is always a good game to watch. I think Ohio State comes out flat. It was just a letdown season, let's be honest. Ohio State had higher aspirations. They didn't reach them. And it's just going to be a gut punch, especially if you see Michigan beat Georgia today, on the day before. Just like, damn, with Michigan still going there. So, Utes coming out, the entire Utah Valley, getting out of the snow, getting into some nice warm weather, hopefully in California. Utes easy in this one. Next game, I'm actually looking very, very forward to this game. I know it's not big names, necessarily big brand names, but Baylor, Ole Miss, top Big 12, kind of top SEC. We'll call it next top of SEC. It's not the real top of the SEC. It's the next top of the SEC. Lane Kiffin in that offense. Matt Corral, I'm assuming, is playing in this game, looking at this line. What do you got for us?
Definitely. So, like you said, Ole Miss with their offense, it's kind of looking at the numbers. We're looking at numbers here. I know Ole Miss scores a lot of points. Baylor can score points. They don't always. They're kind of one of those Big 10, 12-ish teams.
Very up
big,
and down.
Big 12, Big 10-ish teams, I guess, the other way. They kind of slower. Usually have a pretty good defense, so if they can stop Matt Corral a little bit, which is going to be tough. I mean, they can, keep them to under 30 points. That could be huge for Baylor. I don't know if they can, but
it's a big ask.
Yeah, actually, it's surprising here. Looking at like we're talking about the Ole Miss offense, they've actually hit. They're 3-9 over under. They've hit 5 unders in a row. They have been sort of in the 60s, one in the 50s with A&M. They hit the under on that one as well, 58. And then also Baylor, four unders in a row. Their unders have been a little lower, more 50s, upper 40s. This over-under is 55.5. I actually love it. I'm going to take the under 55.5. Ole Miss is also the favorite, -1.5. I think they can probably end up winning the game as well. Unless Baylor can stop them. They couldn't stop TCU, so I don't know if they're going to be able to stop Matt Corral. They probably can't. That's my only worry if Matt Corral comes out and goes crazy, and Ole Miss's defense isn't that great. We'll take the under 55.5. Feel okay about it. Don't feel great. We're just going to take 3.
Okay, a little, but not too bad about it. Lane Kiffin's having had a good recruiting season, had a good season for Ole Miss. This is where they want it to be. This should have been where the Aggies were. God forbid we do anything competent at our school. Baylor won the Big 12. Technically the champs didn't really win it, but Big 12 has weird rules, so they won the Big 12 because they got another crack at it. One true champion, even though we have to play multiple times, and we don't know who's who. Big 12, 8 teams. This could be SEC bias here, but Matt Corral, better quarterback. Gary Bohannon, I'm assuming, is playing quarterback for Baylor. He's got to be healthy at this point. He has to be okay. So that helps Baylor out a lot offensively, at least in the passing downs. And he's a pretty mobile quarterback. They sprinkle in good QB runs there. Lane Kiffin's having a good, like I said, love some of the recruiting videos. Lane Kiffin just vibing with his recruits. Love the energy there. Could have easily left. There was a lot of talk Lane was going to take a different job, go to Miami, this, that, and the other. Ole Miss is building a powerhouse. The SEC West is the top of the top of the coaching. I'm going to take Ole Miss -1.5 here. Like you said, should be a game they can cover. Better quarterback is definitely something I look for. It's only 1.5, which says the Vegas isn't quite sure what we're going to get out of Ole Miss. They probably have a couple opt-outs. I could have done some better research on this game, but I don't feel any heat from Baylor. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up for them. Maybe they can slow them down, but Lane's going to have a few tricks up his sleeve that he's going to muster up 20-something points, I think, and Baylor is very hit and miss. Ole Miss's defense, who knows? Who knows with Ole Miss's defense? You see defenses like, the defense wasn't very good this year in the SEC, but, you play against a lot better offenses in the SEC also. So it's a double-edged sword there. Don't really know this one. So I'm going to go 2 points on Ole Miss at 1.5. I'm going to hop right into the next game because this is just a snoozer of a game on the 4th. I don't even know why this game is being played here. It's a 7-5 Kansas State versus 6-6 LSU. LSU lost their starting quarterback, Mac Johnson, transferred to A&M. Edo's gone. I mean, maybe they're revitalized with Brian Kelly here. But I'm going to go Kansas State. Deuce Vaughn, local boy. Going to shout out Deuce Vaughn, Cedar Ridge High School. Stand up. The Deuce is loose, and he is a menace. Only a sophomore running back. 5'0", 180, and the boy's quick.
Cedar Ridge High School.
Yep. Boy can move. Boy can run. Great pass-catching running back. Has a real bright future ahead of him. They lean on him, and if they don't lean on him, they lose. When they do lean on him, they win. That seems to be Kansas State's game plan here. So I'm going to go Kansas State -4. 1 point on this game. I don't want to talk about this game too much, and then get right into our semifinal game. So what do you got?
I'm going the same way. Mostly because I don't want Brian Kelly to succeed. I'd like for him to have a bad start. I don't know if he's probably not coaching in the game.
Obviously,
I'd like to see his team start off poorly.
Bad.
Never want Brian Kelly to succeed. Especially after his recruiting video. We're talking about recruiting videos with an Ole Miss here. LSU recruiting video where he's doing that little shimmy dancing thing. I'm like, there's no way this guy has any clue what's going on in LSU. I don't know how he's going to recruit anybody unless he just keeps that accent around. I don't quite get that hire. I feel good I'm happy for Notre Dame getting a guy that they're gonna have a lot of energy and they're going to be playing for. I've kind of compared it to TCU with Jim Schlossnagle once he left. None of his assistants followed him. They stayed there. Sarlos is the head coach there now. And Schlossnagle wasn't a big no. He put on the show. He put on the recruiting, but inside he was not anybody that anyone liked. And this is the exact same with Brian Kelly. Don't like the guy. Also, like you said with Deuce, like him to succeed. Local boy, little spark plug, little Darren Sproles guy, and I think they're gonna run all over him and go wild. So it's at -4 now. I got it 3.5, and I'm just gonna take 2. I don't really care about this game. I won't be watching it, but as long as Brian Kelly doesn't win, I'm okay with it.
Why is there's always this one really shitty bowl game, like on January 3rd, 4th, whatever, that nobody, I don't know why they have this game.
What game is this?
I don't know,
but
in
Houston.
It's in Houston.
Texas Bowl. The Texas Bowl.
Wow,
okay.
It's normally not this late. That's kind of weird. Maybe scheduling conflict. The Texans must be in town this weekend or something. All right, let's get into the semifinals here. First game up, 2:30 today. The Cotton Bowl, we have Bama and Cincinnati, number 1 versus number 4. All the pomp and circumstance. Luke Fickell out there. Group of 5, first group of 5 team in the playoff. This is just a mismatch here. Cincinnati had a great season. They ran the table. They're going to shock the world. They're going to do it. No, you're not. No, you're not, Cincinnati. Let's just be real here. Nick Saban has won 100 straight games against a coach that is his first time coaching against him. He doesn't lose to these guys. You need a lot to beat Nick Saban. You need a lot of cracks at him. You need to figure him out. His defense makes your life miserable. Cincinnati is run by their offense. Their defense is very meh, I would consider, especially versus a Power 5 offense. You have your Heisman Trophy winner. Bryce Young is an absolute stud, really coming to his own. I don't know what happened that fourth quarter of the Auburn game. Somebody he must have took a hit or something, and it just awoke his full potential. The kid has got ice water in his veins. The line is 13.5, so just under 2 touchdowns. Bama covers this. Bama covers games. Bama wins games. I expect a very close game in the first half. Cincinnati's going to break out all the stops. They're going to be all momentum. I'm sure they got all the fans there. Cotton Bowl's not such a far travel for Bama fans. The Bama fans always travel well, but Bama in this game, I'm going to go 3 points on Bama at minus 13.5 here. I would be absolutely floored if Cincinnati wins this game. It's not the same. Bama is so good. Bama really just had the one trip up against A&M. They've had a couple of close games. Their defense has been the problem, really, mostly for them. The offense has been good, scoring points. Haven't had a great running game so far, but it's just different athletes. It's just different, and you're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I'm sorry. I think we've learned from. I think we're actually going to learn that we wanted this non-Power 5 teams to get in the playoff and give them a chance, but I think we're also going to learn that maybe they don't really belong. Cincinnati hasn't played anybody. They've played Notre Dame. They played them first week of the year. Now Notre Dame's. If they played them again if they played them again at this time of the year, I think Notre Dame would probably be a favorite.
Yeah.
They'd probably be like a 7-point favorite. Desmond Ritter's a good quarterback. He's not good enough. Even they played a Georgia defense and put up 41 against them. So, I mean, we were saying this Georgia team's the best defense we've seen in a generation, and they pretty much just destroyed them with a full week. Just imagine Nick Saban with a full month of preparation here. It's not going to be a pretty game. If it is a pretty game, I'd be shocked if I'm shocked looking at these numbers that 42% of the people are on Cincinnati to cover, and then the money line the same way. It's the exact same spread. Or 42% of people are even putting money on Cincinnati to win this game. It's just not. This makes no sense. I think it's just a predictable game. I'm sorry. There's nothing really more to say here. Bryce Young's going to tear him up. Cincinnati's not that great on defense. They gave up some points against like SMU and not quite SMU, but Houston 20-28. I think you can double that with Alabama. They're gonna, and it's not gonna be one of those games that in the fourth quarter if they're up by 30. I don't think they're gonna slow down. They're just gonna
keep rolling,
keep pounding them. Just to show them, Cincinnati, you need to go back to where you belong, and not in the top 4. It won't be pretty. Like I said, Nick Saban with a month of preparation, just chalk it. We'll see the true Cincinnati tonight for sure.
Yeah, better athletes. 2
points on that just because I want to watch it and enjoy
it. Better athletes. It's just you can't match it. And we see Bama house Power 5 teams that we think are good enough to be number 4. Okay, group of 5. All right, last semifinal game, the Orange Bowl down there in Miami. It's a good one. It's Georgia-Michigan. This is going to be my lock of the week here. This is my potential lock of the week. Georgia team, great defense, got beat up by Alabama. But sometimes you need to take that loss. It's hard. It's amazing. I know I've talked about it on this podcast many a times. Undefeated teams after week 9 playing a team with a winning record. Not good. Alabama's a great team. Kirby Smart, ex-assistant. Nobody beats Saban. Fisher broke the streak this week. I thought this might be the year the streak ends for Georgia to get over the Bama hump. It didn't. Refocused, reattacked. Georgia's not good on the back end. They're really, really not good on the back end. They got some COVID issues. JT Daniels was maybe getting talked to start at quarterback because Stetson Bennett, he doesn't move the needle at all for this Georgia offense. Georgia offense has struggled. Michigan, great season, fantastic year. They're getting 7.5 points here. I love the Wolverines in this game. I actually like Michigan to win this game. As much of an SEC homer I am, I think this is a perfect matchup for Michigan against Georgia. Very mediocre offense. Michigan plays very good defense. They can play defense with the best of them. That pass rush is no joke. Aiden Hutchinson, the best defensive lineman in the country. Not much of a question there. Best pass rusher in the country. He's going to wreak havoc on this Georgia backfield. I don't know how they're going to pass the ball. They're going to have to lean on the run game. And Michigan's got some athletes, actually. Harbaugh's done a great job recruiting some athletes to this team. Because that's normally the mismatch Ohio State-Michigan is Ohio State can recruit athletes with the best of them, and normally you just out-athlete people. And Michigan's got the athletes to run with people on defense. Only question is, can Michigan score the points on offense? And I think they can. I expect a very low-scoring game. That's why I love 7.5 here. I think this is a 21-17 game. Comes right down to the wire. I would be shocked if this game gets out of hand from Georgia. I wouldn't be shocked if Michigan blew out Georgia here. Honestly, I really, really am feeling the Wolverines. I know it's Harbaugh in a big game, but he showed me a lot against Ohio State and Ryan Day. I have a weird feeling about this game, so I'm all in on the Wolverines. 5 points plus 7.5.
All right. So for me, this is kind of I wouldn't say it's a rat game or a kind of a line that people are going to fall for, but it's definitely a recency bias game. Looking at it here, looking at percentage of bets, people aren't betting on Georgia anymore. They're afraid to, I feel like. Then, of course, Michigan came out and played really well against Ohio State, beat the shit out of them. Now they're betting on them. So 65% on Michigan, 35% on Georgia. People are afraid to bet Georgia. Normally, in these cases, I would bet the team that isn't getting all the attention and love, but not this time. No, I'm right there with you. I think Stetson Bennett against a good defense is not a good matchup to begin with. It's as we saw against Alabama. It just not one of those quarterbacks who you're going to rely on to take them, to a national championship, game, even a semifinal game against a good team who, pretty much ran through the Big Ten after, destroying, Ohio State. So just looking at, quarterback versus defense versus quarterback, I think it's a complete mismatch. Like you said, I think it is going to be a low-scoring game, and I do agree that Michigan might actually end up blowing them out. I don't know if Georgia's still deflated about that, SEC, the SEC championship game. I'm not 100% sure, but they still could be. It's been a month, so maybe they've had time to kind of cry it out and figure it out for the semifinal game. Who knows? But I still don't think. The only worry is this recency bias because people don't like Georgia now. People love Michigan now, and people are betting Michigan. So that's my only worry. I'm taking 2 points. Michigan plus 7.5. Even if it was I think if it was a little closer, I'd still probably go Michigan as well. I love the line just like you do, but I think I'll only take 3 points on this instead of your 5. But I actually do think Alabama-Michigan would be a really, really cool national championship game. I don't want to see Alabama-Georgia again. And I don't think Cincinnati has any
chance of winning 2 in a row.
And they're not winning 2 in a row, and they're probably not going to even win the first quarter in the first game. So Michigan, Alabama, love it. If we want to pick that game, I'll probably that's a tough
next
one.
week.
I'd like to see the line if that's going to happen.
We got.
I think it'd probably be Alabama -4. I guess we'll see what happens if that ends up being the case. I don't want to jinx anybody here, but. That'd be a really fun matchup. As long as we play the game, I like. Let's make sure we get to that point before something happens. But looking forward to tonight with these 2 big games and put a little champagne in our bellies and getting ready for the new year.
We should have a good time tonight. We can hang out, we can reminisce, enjoy our bets, celebrate our wins, and maybe we'll be drinking heavily because we got Cincinnati, Georgia in the championship game tonight together. But give everybody a quick rundown so we can get you out of here. I know you got stuff to do today, as do I. And so I can get this video out for everybody to enjoy.
Gotcha. So we have Wake Forest, Rutgers over 62.5. Currently, it's 14-7. Rutgers is in the red zone as well, so it could be 14-14 early in the second quarter. So looking decent so far. We'll see what happens in that one. For 4 points, Wazoo, Central Michigan over 57.5. For 2 points, Penn State plus 2.5. Versus Arkansas just for 1 point. That'll be an interesting game. It's pretty coin flippy there, but. Happens. Notre Dame minus 2.5. Oklahoma State for 4. Kentucky, Iowa under 44.5 for 5. That's my lock of the week. Utah plus 5 versus Ohio State for 2. Baylor, Ole Miss under 55.5 for 3. Kansas State minus 3.5 versus LSU for 2. I'm not going to be watching that game. I don't give a shit about them, but we'll see what happens. Then Alabama in the 2 semifinal games. Alabama minus 13.5 for Cincy for 2, and Michigan plus 7.5 against Georgia for 2.
All right, and I got Wake Forest minus 16 for 1. I got Wazoo minus 5.5 for 2. I got Arkansas minus 2.5 for 4. I got Notre Dame minus 2.5 for 3. I got Kentucky minus 3 for 2. I got Utah plus 4 for 3. I got Ole Miss minus 1.5 for 2. I got Kansas State minus 4 for 1. Like you said, nobody gives a shit. Semifinal games in the Cotton Bowl, I have your Alabama Crimson Tide minus 13.5 for 3. And I got the Michigan Wolverines plus 7.5 for 5. Great week, Scott. We've had a lot of fun doing the bowl games. We're grinding it out here. NFL playoffs coming soon. We will have the national championship on the 10th, so we can pick that game. We might pick like 7 different things with that game. We might do over-under, we might do spread, might have some props, maybe sprinkle in a little this, that, and the other. And it's been a great year. The year is ending for everybody. I hope everyone has a great new year, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.